no, I married shortly, not too long after that anyway. I left home when I got married. Yeah, we all got along pretty good. Big family. Papa was boss.
So you didn't, so your father, when you were real little, your father was actually a farmer. He wasn't working in the weave room then?
That's right. He was a farmer then, yeah.
How old were you when you got married?
17. Me and my husband both was 17. We was working at the Eagle Mill. He worked on one end of the spinning room. I worked on the other. We went and got married. My mama didn't know who I was, who I married. I never seen him. And oh, they was hot because they was mad. You weren't allowed to do things like that.
But it worked out.
It did, yeah. My boss and my dad was raised up together. He said, "You won't live with that boy 6 months." I said, "He wasn't much of a Georgia. We lived together 60 years and 4 months." We had some ups and downs, all right. Don't you worry about that. We had plenty of those. But guess we growed up together.
Maybe it helped because you both had the same kind of background.
That's right, yeah. That's the reason it lasted.
Did you have friends that worked, did you know people and have friends that didn't work in the mills?
Oh, yeah, didn't work in the mills.
Yes.
Yeah, I know a few, but not very many. I didn't. Because everybody worked in the mill was old enough, and if it was get a job, you know, people, that's the way they worked then. They didn't work in the stores too much.
What did you do when you got laid off? Because I know there's, particularly with the Eagle and Phoenix, there were long periods of time when they just shut down.
Did you know, when they shut down, we just had to do without. They didn't pay us nothing, no. And we go in short time. That was our tough luck. Sometimes we'd work 3 days a week and sometimes 2. But you learn to stretch them nickels and dimes.
Let's go back to the strike because I'm curious to know why you joined the union when you did.
Oh, I joined it because we thought we was going to make more money, have better working conditions, and they was going to do all these things for us.
Do you remember the people who told you that?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember their names because they didn't live here. You know, they come from out of town, and they had their meetings down there at the Union Hall on First Avenue, and they made us think we was just going to live high on the hog. They got all the money and we got nothing.
Do you remember how much you gave them?
No, I don't. I did know at that time because, you know, they had records of it, but I didn't keep up with it.
Could you guess?
No, I have no idea. Because I know that I wasn't going to get none. Well, don't need me to think about it.
And you mentioned that you got penalized for striking. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, they laid us off, wouldn't work us at all. To finally we kept going back down there. They put us back to work. Yeah. They served this possessory on us, and the old sheriff come out there to put my furniture out. I had a big fuss with him, but he set it out in the road anyway. But the people came back and, you know, and got our house, and they moved us back in another one. But that one, the thing of it was thrown out anyway. That was the first time and the last time. Yeah, that was rough. I would never be on there another strike. Because they don't do nothing for people that I know of.
Could you talk about that getting put out of your house?
Oh, didn't pay my house rent, and he come. I had the lower doors locked. I didn't think he was coming that late in the afternoon. I was sitting on the porch, and he called me outside. One-armed sheriff. Never will forget him. He'd put every bit of it out there. That's the first time and the last time. I told my husband I'd never be in another strike. If they all wanted to quit, I was going to work on. Because the mill company didn't do nothing for you, and the union didn't either, so you didn't have nothing. And you couldn't go get food stamps back then.
You mentioned that you were getting some relief.
They give us $2.40 check, you know. to go back $2.40 worth of groceries. You know how for $2.40 go for $5. And that's how many it was, 3 kids and me and my husband.
Now, who gave you the $2.40?
They got it through the welfare. Yeah. And my husband, he went to work for the WPA. He made $9. I believe it was $9 a week. But we lived till we both got back to work.
The WPA, that's right, the WPA came along.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
yeah. And they give beef away, you know, that ground beef, they give that to the workers and all. It helped. I don't care nothing about beef yet.
You said before that you didn't go back to the Eagle and Phoenix. You went to work at the bib.
Yeah, I did,
Did you try and reapply at the Eagle and Phoenix? Could you tell me about that?
Do what?
Could you go back to the Eagle and Phoenix?
Oh
for a
yeah,
job?
and I went back. I worked up at the bib a while and went back down there, and they put me back to work.
What did you have to do to convince them to take it?
I didn't do anything. I only come down there to go to work, and I guess they needed spinners.
How long was that afterwards?
Oh, it must have been about 2 months after the strike. Yeah.
Mr. Tidwell said that they kept him waiting at least a month. And,
Yeah. 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 I tell you, a lot of them was glad to get back down there. Sure was. Yeah, it was bad.
What did you hear about strikes in other places then?
Oh, we'd hear, you know, they'd got big money and got wages and all. That was what the union people told us, you know. What they just finished up one in North Carolina, I believe it was. What they got for working conditions, and we didn't get nothing. They snooped out and nobody didn't know they was gone till they was gone.
Could you talk about what kind of news you were getting during that time about the strike in other places? Because it was happening all over the country.
Oh yeah, they wasn't none of it too good, no. I don't know what the union men it was running it, they bragged about it. And of course mill people didn't have no better sense than to believe them. They thought if it was going to make more money, it's all right.
Were you reading the local newspapers?
Huh?
Were you reading the local?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember what they said though. There's plenty in there was said about it, you know.
We've looked at the local newspapers and they have big headlines every
Yeah.
day about it. I just wondered.
Yeah, they had them in there all right. Yeah.
You know, they're talking about a fellow named Gorman who was a leader, and the George Googe from Atlanta,
Yeah.
and all of this.
Yeah.
I know. What does the name Talmadge mean to you?
Well, he was all right. He suited me all right. Didn't bother me at all. He's about as good as the rest of them was.
Gene Talmadge.
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
When did you start voting?
Oh, I didn't start voting till, I guess it was in the 50s. Yeah, I decided I'd start voting.
Why'd you wait so long?
I don't know. I just didn't fool with it. I reckon didn't have time. Yeah.
Was that true of most of the women in the mills?
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, I think it was. They just didn't ever take time. They said, well, I don't care who's put there, no way, it don't matter. So that was about the size of it.
Now, one of the things that we've got a lot of newsreels of the times in the early 30s
Yeah.
with mill workers. And the women look very different from they did in the late 20s.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Bobbed hair and
yeah,
short skirts.
yeah. They wore long ones and long hair.
So it must have been a big change.
It
at
was.
that time. Could you describe that?
Yeah, they didn't, when they began to cut the hair, they didn't look like their own selves. I had mine cut before then. When I got married, I had my hair cut because Mama couldn't keep me from it, you know. And I was just 17. And everybody in the mill liked it. First thing I know, they was copying off. They was getting theirs cut too. And mine's been cut ever since.
What about, how did you dress in the mill?
Just wore ginghams dresses, what they call ginghams then, you know. We didn't wear pants. I guess they'd have killed us if we wore a pair of pants. And now I live in them.
I noticed in some of the old photographs, some of the women seem to be having something like a uniform.
Yeah, some of them did wear them uniforms. I hated them things. I didn't wear them. I think I wore them one time a little while. And they didn't make us wear them at the jury, and we could wear what we wanted to over there. The bib was bad about it. And I didn't like them.
Do you know why they wanted you to do that?
No. So we look alike, I guess. So.
It wasn't for safety reasons?
No, wasn't a bit of safety in them, just like wearing your own dress. Mm-hmm. But we all dressed a lot like convicts, you know, they all wear their clothes alike. Yeah.
You're talking about having fun. This film is going to be seen by a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And they can't imagine people of your age having fun. So could you describe what kind of fun you had?
Yeah, 'cause we was all friendly and we'd all help one another and we'd catch our jobs up and we'd go out and sit down, you know, and talk and have a lot of fun. The men folks would go with us, and that was real pleasure. And one got sick or anything, they was all right there with you. And so I enjoyed it.
Well, after the machines got speeded up, could you still do that?
Yeah, but you couldn't do it as often. You had to stay right in with them. Then they'd run over and tear up too. Yeah. You know, the mill folks, you know, they're all friendly towards one another anyway.
At the time of the strike, what was the work like in the mill? I mean, what were the machines like? Were they going fast or what?
Yeah, they run fast. They, you know, as fast as they could run them anyway. Because if you cut them down slowly, you didn't make as much money. And if the fixer come along and cut the speed on them, or the dolphins would go around and speed them back up where they'd make more hanks, make more money. And so they got in a lot of trouble about that too.
Now, when you first went into the mills, you got paid by the hour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then later you got paid by the piece.
That's right, yeah.
Could you describe the difference?
Oh, yeah, you made more by the piece. Yeah, you made more. Because you keep a job of running more. If a dolphin let it stand, you go hunt him up. Get him on the job. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed working in the mill. That's all I knew. I guess I had a right to.
Did you ever have any injuries?
Insurance.
Hurt yourself?
Oh, no. I never did hurt myself in the mill. No. Nope. I was careful about that. I've seen people get hurt over there, though.
Do you remember the doctor?
Yeah, I see what his name was. We used to call him the horse doctor. Can't remember his name now. I had an argument in the hospital with a woman about him. And that was her doctor. I said, he's an old horse doctor. she didn't like that at all. What was his name? I heard somebody talking to me. He's dead now, I think.
You remember Dr. Wynn?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
You talked before about, you mentioned that the women went out online to picket. Is that the first time you ever did it?
Yeah, first and the last time.
What did it feel like to do it?
Well, you felt good, didn't you? Thought you was doing something, but when you didn't have no job to go to, you wish you hadn't went. That's right.
Did you carry signs?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what the sign said.
Said, we're on strike for more money. Yeah.
Do you remember what organization it was?
No, I don't. I really don't. No, we had more fun on the picket line than we did working down there. They worked shifts. We'd work 8 hours in daytime, and then they'd go out, and work. They worked 3 shifts around a picket in it. Yeah. But it was all I've lost, too.
Did people say anything to you on the street while you were picking?
Oh, no, no. No, they didn't bother us. They was afraid to, I guess, because they had police and all down there, you see. Now, there was a big fight up at the Bill Mill. They had a fight and then a man was shot up there. But I didn't go back up there no more when that happened. I didn't see it and I heard it, but I left and I didn't go back. They were too rough. But down at Eagle, there wasn't anybody hurt, no fights at all that I knowed of.
Now we've seen down in Macon, we've got a lot of newsreel about the
Yeah.
strike down in Macon, and they had coffee on the picket line and
Oh, yeah.
sandwiches and that kind of thing. Could you talk about that?
Oh yeah, they had it down there. The people would bring it, you know, the working people would bring it down there. They'd stop and eat their sandwich and drink them some coffee. Yeah, they did that too. Yeah.
How long were you out?
I don't remember, but I think it was around 2 months. I think it was. I'm sure it was, because everybody was out of everything, I'll tell you that. I ain't never wanted to be in there another one. Oh, they've talked it around the mill since then, but they didn't talk to me. I tell them to quit, get down, have nothing to do with it. I ain't never known there to prosper nothing, no way.
Have any of your children joined the union since?
No, they ain't. Because they didn't work in the mills. They worked. My son, one of my sons was a barber, and the other one, he was a meat cutter. And the girls, they didn't work. They got married, and so they wasn't working. The baby was still at home, but she's working in the mill.
When did you have your first car?
Oh, I think we had 3 kids when we bought a Model A Ford. We went to South Carolina. First one we had was living in South Carolina. We bought a Model A Ford. We give $8 for it. My husband paid $12 for a battery. I told him that was crazy. But you know, that old Ford run a long time. We kept it a long time. We went to Columbus and back up out of Anderson in it several times. But he gave $8 for it.
When was that given?
Oh, it must have been in 1935, something like that, way back yonder, yeah. Probably was in 34 and 35, I think. I liked South Carolina. I liked it pretty good. We had pretty good working conditions too there.
So you worked here and then went up south?
I worked there a while and then come back. Been back ever since.
What brought you back?
Well, my mother's health was getting bad, and my husband wanted to come home. I didn't really want to move back. His mother and dad both was dead. But we moved back, so I've been back ever since.
What part of South Carolina was that?
Anderson.
Oh, yes. Lots of cotton mills around
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We've been talking to some people around there.
You have?
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband's sister and her husband worked in them all the time up there. She married a man from up there, and so that's where they moved to after they got married.
Are you in touch with anybody else who worked in the mill with you in that time?
No, I really don't see none of them now. It's been so long since I retired. A lot of them's died over there. Now this lady lives on the corner down here. She worked in the cotton mill, Sally Rags. She worked at the Jordan. Yes, I think she worked about like I did ever since she was a little girl. All the mill hands lived in all these houses, but all of them's moved out. They bought homes outside, you know, and so they all moved out, and they sold just about all of them. I think I'm the only one on this block up this way. I know I am. They still got their house. All of them been sold, resold. So this is big enough for me.
It's a very nice house.
Yeah, it's a little shotgun house, but it's big enough for me.
Goodness. Okay, Jamie? Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's great.
Why do they call it a shotgun house?
Well, there's 3 straight rooms in the back, just like this, and they call these shotgun houses.
So if you fired a gun in the front, go right through, wouldn't hit anybody, go right.
That's right.
So,
You know, there used to be a lot of them in Columbus. I think they've torn down a lot of them now. Yeah.
What was it like having so many people that all worked in the mill live all next to each other in one neighborhood?
Yeah, most
Tell me
of them.
about that.
Well, they lived in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
Oh, they were real nice, yeah. The Alfords lived here. They was raised here. But Mr. and Mr. Alford's dead, and they moved now out yonder to, Fort Mitchell, I believe, somewhere out that way. They left, out in the country. And all down there was all the cotton mill folks lived here. Yeah. A lot of the Sewells lived there, and he's dead now. They lived up the street. And the Raggses, they all worked in the mill. There's a bunch of them. And the Pauls, they lived down there. Becky Paul's mother. Of course, she's married now. She's not a Paul now. Her mother's dead. And her family, they were raised down. There was houses below on the other side of the boys' club. They tore them all down, and they was all raised down there. That's all they know. Till, in the last few years, they moved away.
Did your children all marry in this community?
No, they married different people, and one of them married one in Alabama. And Leon, he married a girl in Oklahoma when he went in the Army. Of course, they didn't last. But he's married to a Columbus girl now, and they live in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. They work for Hardee's. He runs the Hardee's, and she runs one. So they're doing pretty good. He was a meat cutter, but he got tired of that. So, and my daughter Shirley works at Little Swiss up on 2nd Avenue.
So she's still in the mills.
Oh, yeah, she likes the cotton mill, yeah. She works double just like I did. I was getting after the other day about working. She said, well, Mother, you worked them too. And I said, I was tighter than you was
Well,
too.
now, people who see this film are not going to know what you mean by working double. So just say, well, working double is?
Working 16 hours straight through. Yeah.
Just start again and say, well, working double is?
Working double is 16 hours a day.
Do it once again.
16 hours a day is working two shifts all day.
And you're standing all that time?
Yeah, sure you do. You don't sit down.
That's 5 days a week?
Yeah, that didn't work. They just work that on your own. They want you to work, you can volunteer and work. But they always want you to work because they're short of help.
That's 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Well,
They used to let you work that way.
If you wanted to work 16 every day.
No, it didn't work 16 every day, just, 2 or 3 times a week.
3 days a week?
Yeah.
even so, just
Still
sticking
60 hours.
16 hours.
Yeah,
is-
but see, we could get 60 hours a week to start with for a long time. Yeah, I don't know how many they lie now, but I know my daughter still works overtime.
When did your daughter start working in the mill?
Oh, she started working in them about 20 years ago. Yeah.
All right. You ready? Sound? Okay. Just show us what it sounds like in the mill and explain. Okay.
All right, do something. Oh no, and turn it off. I think it's all rewound. I'm gonna have to rewind it all the way back.
Got in a car and drove up there, and so we were talking with this Hollywood star, and she was telling these women how hard her life was. She says, we have to get up at 7 in the morning, and I'm in makeup for 2 hours, and we work all day, and at 5 o'clock I go home and just die. And I knew these women had been up since 4 o'clock.
Oh my goodness.
When they got back, they were going to be working until 10 o'clock that night, be thinking. And they were nodding and they said, isn't she a brave girl? Doesn't she work hard? Just accepted the whole thing. It was fascinating. But I was standing behind them and I thought, sure, they're going to just start booing her when she said that. Not a bit.
Egger.
Not a bit. They just thought she was wonderful.
She just lived up the road from us. We lived.
Tell me why you like to work on the magazine.
The newsletter. Well, mainly where should I look when I'm talking to you? Okay. Well, mainly the reason that I like doing, especially the union member on the go, is because it brings the person into the limelight, probably where they've never really been in the limelight before. And just writing the article about them and just seeing how much it means to them, it makes every word that I come up with worthwhile. They've never had anything like that done for them before, and it just tickles them to death. I wish I had a camera to get their expression whenever they get to read it. I've had them come up and hug me and everything else, and that makes it personal, that makes it worthwhile.
Tell me about writing.
How you mean?
I know you said at one time that you love to write.
Oh, I've always loved to write. I keep journals, personal journals. I've always loved to sketch and write. I wrote poetry whenever I was real small. And I guess it's a way of expressing myself besides just talking, because I like to talk too. But I know people get tired of hearing me. I think I get that from my mother. My mother used to write little poems. I've got some of the things that she wrote, and I like to put down what I feel on paper.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, is it back there yet?
Yeah, it's baby.
Okay. Now tell us about the mill.
She should look at the camera, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just explain that since y'all couldn't get in the mill to show me at my work, I'm going to show you what it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Now?
Yeah.
Well, since I couldn't get into the mill.
No, since you people couldn't get in the mill to show me. Okay.
Well, okay. Well, since I couldn't take you into the mill with me, so you could show everybody what the mill was like, I brought the cassette in, and I've got the sounds of the mill on cassette.
You talked about the rhythm of it.
Yes, it definitely has a rhythm. It's stobbly looms, it's the big looms, and it has as a matter of fact, sometimes it feels like the floor is rocking. I guess it is rocking, really. And it's such a rhythm till it could put you to sleep. Of course, it's real loud. We wear earplugs, but you get used to it. You get used to the sound. It's definitely got a rhythm. You could almost make up a song to it.
Have you ever tried to make up a song to it?
No, but you could.
Good. That's it. Beautiful.
Oh, do you think we could just get a still of just Angie listening to that, just a little bit of it?
You mean like this?
Just maybe it in front of her, just a little, just to extend it.
A still.
No, I don't mean still. With a video camera.
We're rolling. Just act like you're just
Put it
turn
back
on
on
and just.
and just let's listen to it.
Take it and hold it up to your ear.
You can almost see the shuttle flying back and